Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I thought we would ask your animal spirit guides if they have any messages for you. These animal spirit guides, they might not be animals that you would recognize as like your spirit guides, in the sense that they might not be like animals that you see a lot of, but this could just be whatever messages come out in the cards are messages from your spirit guides that are showing up in the form of the animals on the cards today. So I hope that makes sense. And with that said, please feel free to pause the video, pick whichever card is speaking the most to you, and let's get into today's reading. Hello Pile 1 and welcome to your reading. If you chose the Lion Spirit, this is going to be your reading for today, where we are getting some messages from your animal spirit guides. These might be animals that you recognize as your spirit guides, like animals that you see a lot of or have a particular significance for you. But they may not be. This could just be, you know, your regular spirit guides showing up today as these animals to give you particular messages. So as always, just take it however it resonates for you. And with that said, let's get into the reading. We're going to start with your tarot cards, then I'll lay out the rest of the oracles, and we'll just kind of get the full picture right off the bat. So, what messages do you have for Pile 1 today? Spirit, what messages? Okay, we have Justice with a bat there. What messages do you have for Pile 1? Okay, they fell into my lap. We have the Page of Pentacles. This looks like maybe a warthog or some sort of tusked pig type creature. And then we have the King of Wands, which I think would be a walrus, if I'm correct. Maybe I'm not so great on the animal identification, but yeah, that looks like a walrus to me. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. Interesting. We have a Major Arcana and 3 court cards. So, okay. There may be something going on with your interpersonal relationships, with the fact that we have Justice here, which is connected with Libra, you know, in the concept of interpersonal relationships, partnerships. 11 reduces to 2, partnerships, harmony, those types of themes. And then we have all these court cards they might all represent your energy, but they could also represent different people in your life. So we'll talk about the different energies here. This is the Queen of Swords, and this looks like a fox to me here. And then we'll get the rest of your oracle cards. We have, ooh, very nice. We have the Snow Leopard, which says, take some time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude. Interesting. Interesting if there is a message about interpersonal relationships here. Interesting that you're getting advice to take a step back and spend some time alone here. And then we have Dog Far Away, which says, a distant friend is thinking of you. And again, there's a message about separation and being apart from somebody, but it might be there might be a message here with the Justice card of needing to take a step back and gain a sense of separation in order to kind of maybe figure out how you feel about certain relationships and certain people in your life, and maybe like disentangle your feelings from the facts of the situation, if that makes sense. That might be one of the messages here. If you feel like you have been too isolated and you want to get back out there and be more social, there might just be a message from your spirit guides to take just a little bit more time to kind of, take a step back emotionally. Because the Queen of Swords and the Justice energy here are both very logical, rational, kind of like unemotionally evaluating their circumstances. Whereas, and actually that practicality is being echoed on this Page of Pentacles. Whereas the King of Wands, I think, is a little bit more kind of emotionally driven. However, because it's the king, there is also a message about being responsible with your energy. You know, it's the other Wands court cards might be a little bit more reckless, but the King in particular is a responsible energy. And so there's a message here about like needing to take stock of something. And again, it might have to do with your interpersonal relationships, you know, however that resonates for you. Something that's coming to me is that, especially with the Justice, the Scales here, and the fact that this bat doesn't look particularly happy. There might be a message. You might have a history of needing or feeling like you have needed to be the mediator, or it's like you have needed to be the voice of reason, or you have always needed to bring balance into whatever relationships you have in your life, and like, you know, that's a heavy role to fill, and you might have felt like your past relationships, whether like friendships, romantic connections, family relationships, whatever, you might just be taking time to kind of figure out a different way to balance those relationships, because it could have been with be generous of spirit. It could have been that in the past, you know, you are very generous of spirit. You might be in this, like the King of Wands energy of like really wanting to connect with people and be like very kind of gregarious and outgoing. And it could have been that other people would take advantage of that energy, or kind of like latch onto your energy. And with the, you know, the vampire bat might have been like, you might have had like a lot of kind of energy vampires in your life. And so the scales were not balanced. In terms of the energy you were bringing to your relationships versus the energy you were getting back from other people. And if that's the case, then I think there is a message to, you know, to give yourself as much time as you need to be able to kind of refill your own cup before, you know, going back and trying to reconnect with those connections, if that makes sense. And yeah, there's messages about taking a step back from specific people or circumstances or relationships that were imbalanced, so that you can kind of take stock of things and change your energy, so that you are no longer feeling like you need to be giving all the time, if that makes sense. And the Lion Spirit card in particular, it carries a message about balance and relationships. You know, there's a balance between embracing the confidence of the lion, and really having like a really strong sense of self-worth, a really strong sense of healthy boundaries, and knowing that you have a lot to give. You have a lot of gifts to share with people. You're being represented as I would say this is probably, honestly, these are probably your energies, but they do also represent the relationships. But yeah, to embrace the energy of the King of Wands, of being social, wanting to give of yourself, being generous, and also knowing your worth and feeling confident. It's like the benevolent leader energy of Leo. I'm embracing this position of authority because I genuinely want to use it as a way to help other people. I want to be able to be a force for good in the world, and I'm gonna step up into this leadership position so that I can make sure that that I can make that happen. And I know that I deserve to be in this leadership position because I have gifts to share with other people, to put it that way. And then there's also a message with this card about like a balance between divine feminine, divine masculine energies. And then we do have both a king and a queen here. So another message about the balance between divine feminine, divine masculine. As always, that is regardless of your gender identity, gender expression. The divine masculine and feminine is just about the energy with which you are approaching your life or a specific situation. So again, this would be like a healthy balance between assertiveness and receptiveness, between nurturing and being authoritative and confident, and giving other people, like being generous with your energy and willing to give of yourself with an open heart, and at the same time having and clearly expressing and enforcing healthy boundaries, so that the people who are in an energy where they do want to take advantage of you will not be able to. But the people who genuinely need and want your help and will, whatever you are giving, they are in an energy of like a healthy energy of receiving. Those people will be able to appreciate your gifts for what they are. Because I do think there's a message here, like you have a big heart, and there might be like a need again to detach yourself from specific people or specific situations that you might feel have been draining your energy, specifically so that you can restabilize, if that makes sense. You have a big heart, you have a lot to give. But the dog in particular, like it says, a distant friend is thinking of you. Dogs are symbols of friendship. They're symbols of friendship, loyalty, commitment. Like think about a dog being, man's best friend, like, or humankind's best friend. Like, it's there's a message here that the people who are genuine, who are loyal, who do deserve the gifts that you have to give and want to share in your energy, those people will not go anywhere if you need to take some time. Like if you need to take some time in solitude, if you need to go into hermit mode for a while, if you feel like you have taken on too much, or like you're just burnt out, like it's okay to just say, like, I'm sorry, I need some time, like I just need some time. And the people who are genuinely embodying the spirit of the dog will wait. It says a distant friend is like they'll wait. They'll be willing to wait because they genuinely appreciate what you have to offer. And then with the message of the Page of Pentacles, I think is, this person, literally a to-do list. This card talks about taking time to go through like kind of the learning process and practicing patience with yourself and other people, and just kind of embracing the learning process for what it is. We're taking time, we're doing research, we're gathering resources, getting ready for something. And if this is saying like, taking some time out, time away, with the message of justice, like pros and cons, weighing the scales, like writing out literally like a list, a pros and cons list, writing down your thoughts, throat chakra stuff, just getting really clear with yourself about how you want to be approaching your relationships moving forward. So that you can also clearly communicate that with other people when you are ready to, to step back into your social energy here. And then we do have the message of the King of Wands, I think is, this is all you. And it's also a message about interpersonal relationships. But the King of Wands, a very social, very go-getter energy, feeling inspired, feeling motivated, feeling like you have a sense of passion and purpose, very fun, charismatic, fun-loving, adventurous, and at the same time there is a groundedness, a practicality with the fact that it's the king. The king, the person in the position of authority, the person with the highest level of experience. And it's like, a balance between that excited, passionate energy of Wands and the more practical side of the King. And then we have the Queen of Swords. It's like seeing things clearly for what they get, having a real sense of clarity, being a very clear communicator, clearly communicating boundaries, using your intelligence, your more rational, logical mind, like doing the practical stuff to try to figure out how you feel, like using your brain to, if you are very heart driven, this is, let's take some time to be brain focused right now. so that we can, again, figure out what our boundaries are, so that we can then be very clear about communicating what those boundaries are and standing up for ourselves, using our voice to advocate for what we need, so that we can be generous of spirit in a responsible way where we are also practicing healthy self-care. So with that said, I think that is really the message of these cards for you today, pile one. If this has not resonated for you, it could be that your message is in another pile. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did like this video, please feel free to give it a like. Please comment down below and let me know how this resonated for you. If you like my videos, you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel. I also have a Patreon where I post bonus videos and an Etsy shop where I do private readings. So if you're interested in either of those, the links will be in the description. And with that said, thank you very much for watching, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Hello Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the Koi Fish Spirit, this is going to be your reading for today, where we are asking your animal spirit guides for whatever messages they have for you today. These might be animal spirits that you recognize as your animal spirits, or like animals that you see a lot of that have particular significance for you, but they don't have to be. This could just be your spirit guide's way of showing up with messages for you today. So as always, just take whatever resonates for you, and let's get into today's reading. Okay. Okay, we have the Two of Pentacles, and this is a fox on this card. Okay, there's an intuitive message coming through. You might be pushing yourself a little too hard. Yeah, maybe trying to force things to happen a certain way. There may be a message from your spirit guides just to loosen up the reins a little bit, and to focus on trusting that that your abundance is going to. It's like you already have your abundance. That's one of the messages of the Koi Fish card. You don't need to push so hard. That's an intuitive thing coming in. So I wanted to say that. What messages do you have for pile 2 today? What messages do you have for pile 2 today? What messages do you have? Okay. Alright, we have the Seven of Pentacles, and which has bees on it, and then we have Temperance. This looks like a seal or a sea lion. I'm not 100% sure what the difference is. It looks like one or the other to me. I do want to say, I'm sorry, half the deck fell out and moved the cards. I do want to say, I think that there's a definite confirmation with at least these two cards that you are working towards something, and there's a message that it is important to focus on balance right now for you, especially the Two of Pentacles and Temperance. Yeah, yeah, you don't need to force things. Like the things, whatever you've planted, whatever you are working on, whatever you are investing in, it's growing, perhaps in ways that are not immediately apparent, but it's growing. So your hard work will pay off, and there's a message here to focus on like a work-life balance and feeling like you don't need to juggle everything. You don't need to do everything yourself. If it is helpful for you to take a break, to literally schedule rest time for yourself, maybe important to delegate something, however this resonates for you. Yeah, there's a message here to you don't have to push yourself so hard to make things happen. And if you're concerned about whether the thing you're working on is going to pay off, the answer is yes. This is long-term investment with an eventual payoff. You know, you've planted something, it's growing. You know, we can't always see like what's growing beneath the ground or how things are going to turn out in the long run, but your hard work is going to have an eventual payoff. There is a definite confirmation about that. Okay, let's get one more card. What messages do you have for pile 2 today? Okay, there's 2 many cards. Okay, the fact that there are so many cards trying to come out after this Temperance card, when this happens in a spread, you know, when we get most of the cards, and I just want one more, and then all of the cards start to come out, I interpret that as whatever happens after this final card is like things are going to take off. You know, it's like what's going to happen after you achieve a state of temperance is everything else is going to come after that. Like, again, like I think that if you feel like you've been trying to manifest something, or you've been working really hard towards a goal and you haven't seen the payoff yet, you have not seen the results of whatever you were working on yet, if it hasn't been as abundant as you had hoped it would be yet, I would interpret this as a message from Spirit that the blockage or delay is being caused because your spirit guides want you to achieve a state of temperance before they bring in everything else that's meant to come in, because when it does come in, it might be really fast or really overwhelming. And like a bunch of stuff might happen at once. And so it's like, we want you to be balanced, stable, with a healthy routine. Temperance, like trial and error, find whichever whatever routine works best for you, like just figuring out what works for you. Definitely in the fact that, you know, this seal or sea lion has angel wings. This card definitely usually has an angel on it. There's a message about angelic protection, and it could be, again, like your spirit guides and or an angel, like there might be a particular angel, if this resonates for you, who is working with you, and they're like, it's almost, I'm seeing an angel wrapping their wings around someone and saying, like, not yet. Like, you need to get a little bit more balanced. You need to work on work-life balance. You need to schedule break time for yourself before the abundance comes in, because it's going to be so, you know, I need to know that you are stable and secure before we bring in whatever you're working towards here. So that's, again, intuitive stuff coming through. Okay, let's get one more card for pile 2, please. What messages do you have for pile 2, please? Let's get one more card. What messages do you have for... Oh, okay. We have... okay, yeah, death. Death, the transfer, and that would make sense to me of why, you know, like half the deck was coming out. It's like there's a major change and transformation coming after whatever angelic force or your spirit guides, after they are assured that you are not pushing yourself too hard, because I just heard everything is going to change. Yeah, this is a really positive message. A skeleton is not an animal, but, well, animals have, you know, a lot of animals do have skeletons, but, yeah, sorry. The message here is basically, you don't need to push so hard to bring in the things that you want. They're coming in, like, this process is it's unavoidable. It might be a little bit blocked or delayed right now, just because, again, like it's really important to stabilize yourself before everything starts to shift and change, because it's like this change is coming. It's coming, you know, and it's like, yeah, I think that it's like your spirit guides are trying to protect you from feeling overwhelmed or becoming overburdened or working yourself too hard or burning yourself out before everything comes into alignment, to put it that way. We are going to get the rest of your oracle cards. We have the Tortoise, which says, "You're too fragmented, so do whatever it takes to get grounded." Yeah, for sure. That's a confirmation, definitely. Focusing on grounding yourself, because there's going to be a lot of change coming in. With "you're too fragmented" might be you might be like, yeah, it's the things that you are devoting your time and energy towards, it might be too much. Like you might have way too much on your plate. You might have be working on too many things at once, or trying to achieve a state of perfection in all areas, rather than just working on balance and moderation. Yeah, and I know for me personally, working towards balance and moderation is like the hardest thing for me. I always want to go too hard on too many things. Like I get overly ambitious and then I get burnt out. I get really excited about something or really into something and then I get burnt out. You know, it's like it takes a conscious, intentional effort for me to say, like, I'm going to work on this for 1 hour. I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to work on this for, you know, or I'm going to, you know, I'm going to play this video game for 1 hour. I'm going to set a timer, and then I'm done. Like, because for me, like, my natural state is it's like 100% or 0%, you know, and it's like, yeah, working towards balance and moderation is not easy, I think, for most people. And especially when you're feeling really driven towards something, or you're really trying to generate a specific outcome. There's a message with the tortoise spirit: you are giving too much of your energy to too many things. So let's focus on maybe even channeling some of that energy, into writing a priorities list and saying, okay, what are my top 3 priorities for today? Let's just, even just starting with 3, like, what are my top 3 goals for today? And if I achieve those goals, I can give myself a check mark for today and then relax, and kind of breaking it down like that. Delegating, asking for help might also be, there's multiple bees on this 7 of Pentacles working together to grow this plant. And, yeah, so there might be a message, reach out for help if you need it, or delegate things if you need to. You don't need to do everything on your own. You don't need to do everything, full stop. And it's like, just focus on doing as much as you can do to the best of your ability. And it's like, getting into that mindset, I think, is like, that's when this process of change, transformation, everything else coming in. And these, we're trying to grow a flower here, and there are like a field of grown flowers there, and we're, death has this, the scythe of like harvest. So, you're harvesting whatever you were planting here on the 7 of Pentacles after achieving this state of balance. It's like moving out. The 2 of Pentacles, not necessarily a negative energy, but it is like trying to balance and juggle a lot, and it can carry a message about feeling overburdened. So, and like a note from your spirit guides to examine how much of your energy you're giving to whatever it is you're working on. And then we have the shark, which says, take care or there will be a loss of material wealth. Okay, and to me, it's kind of like a warning about burning yourself out. I think with that, yeah, take care. It's almost like take care of yourself and your energy. Or like it's almost like a diminishing returns. And the koi fish spirit in particular, first of all, it's 36 reduces to 9, which is a number about completion and fulfillment. With there is always enough, this card talks about having an abundance mindset. It talks about instead of focusing on what you don't have or what you don't have yet and what you want to have in the future, your desired outcome of whatever this hard work is that you are doing. Like if you are trying to generate pentacles, this might be related to your career. I could definitely see that being here. Like, yeah, trying to generate money. If you're feeling like you have to work so hard to get such a little payoff, the koi fish spirit is saying, with there is always enough, it's saying cultivating an abundance mindset where you're instead focusing on the wealth that you do have in whatever form that takes. It's instead of focusing on the entire ocean, let's focus on our pond and what we do have immediate control over, and what we can do immediately right now today to recognize the abundance that we already have, to recognize our own hard work and our own sense of worth, being worthy of that abundance. And that can be like money, material wealth, and knowing that whatever we have planted here is going to be an abundant harvest in the future. Like the universe is always bringing us the wealth that we do. Like we already have this abundance, and we also, if things are getting too overwhelming, if we're starting to feel despair because we're focusing so much on what we don't yet have, the message would be to refocus our perspective on like smaller, like a camera, kind of tightening the shot into again, like our immediate surroundings, the things that we can control, whatever it is day to day, like finding like $2 in your pocket and saying like, this is a windfall. You know, it's just changing your mindset to attract more abundance and wealth. Sorry if you can hear the snowblower outside. I'm going to try to talk over it because, you know, I've waited and waited and it's still going. So anyway, so I think that is one of the major messages, is cultivating an abundance mindset. And I think that the shark spirit here, you know, we have the koi fish spirit, which is, it's associated with abundance. And the shark is kind of like, there's a predator in the water. There is something scary here, but it's like, it has to do fully with your mindset. Like being in an energy of lack will attract lack. Being in an energy where we're really focused on what we don't have, you know, it's saying like, I don't have enough. I don't have enough. It puts that out into the universe, and then it, you know, it kind of attracts more of that, like I continue to not have enough because of this mindset. Whereas with the, you know, it's the basic principle of manifestation, you know, and then the abundance mindset of I already have enough, I have everything I need, you know, and focusing on that attracts more of that into the universe, because you're saying like I already have everything I need, and then you will continue to have everything you need. That's the basic principle behind, you know, this I think it's just your mindset, it's just your perspective, and it's shifting mindset, shifting perspective, shifting your energy onto how best to take care of yourself, focusing on moderation, balance, appreciation for the things that you already have and the things you can already do, making time to schedule break times into your day, figuring out what routine works best for you specifically, like not needing to base it on what works best for somebody else or compare yourself to other people. Just focusing on figuring out what works for you, perhaps asking for help or delegating tasks if that is helpful for you, with the knowledge that that you are growing this flower, and once you achieve this beautiful state of balance on the Temperance card, there will be a lot of things coming in for you. There's abundant harvest being represented on the Death card, change, transformation, like the things are going to happen. The things you're trying to create for yourself are going to come in. So that's the message that I have for you today, Pile 2. I hope that it has been helpful. I hope it hasn't been too abstract. Again, I'm sorry about the snowblower outside. You know, it just always seems to come around when I'm filming. But anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did like it, please feel free to give it a like. Please comment down below and let me know how this resonated for you. If you like my videos and you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel. I also have a Patreon where I post different types of bonus content, and an Etsy store where I do private readings. If you're interested in either of those, the links will be in the description. And thank you very much for watching Pile 2, and I do hope to see you in my next reading. Hello Pile 3, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the Nightingale Spirit, this is going to be your reading for today, where we are asking your animal spirit guides for any messages that they have for you. And these might be animals that you recognize as your spirit guides, or as animals that have particular significance for you, but they don't have to be. This could just be your spirit guides coming through as these animals today to give a particular message. So, you know, as always, just take whatever resonates for you. And let's get into today's reading. What messages do you have for pile 3 today, Spirit? Okay, we have the Hanged Man. Okay, what messages do you have for pile 3 today, please, Spirit? What messages? Okay. Okay. We have the Tower and the 5 of Pentacles. It makes sense why the Nightingale Spirit would be here today. Let's get one more card. What messages do you have for pile 3 today? Okay. Okay, and we have the Queen of Swords, and this card did come out for pile 1. There might be a message for you in pile 1, although these energies and messages are definitely different. You guys might be going through it right now, and we'll get more into that. I want to take your oracle cards. Okay, we have the Spider, which says, trust the creative spark you're feeling and express it through writing stories that inspire and enlighten. So that's interesting. And then we have, yeah, I could see this. We have the Vulture, which says, depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you. Okay, pile 3. To be honest, I had to take a bit of a break after I had pulled your cards because I started to feel really energetically overwhelmed and like I just did not have the capacity to read your pile at that point in time. I think that might be, you know, judging by the cards that we have here, that might be something that you are currently grappling with. You might be feeling really overwhelmed. What's interesting is we have the Hanged Man and the Tower being the first 2 cards out here. Like Spirit's kind of showing me like a frog on a tree that's falling over, and it's like there's like this is like staying where you are while things are falling apart. If that makes sense, like that's kind of the image there. Like there's something is changing in a way that you probably didn't predict and might not have wanted, but at the same time you are being spiritually encouraged to stay where you are right now. So it's like things are moving and changing, but you also are in the energy of the Hanged Man, of like remaining in this status quo, or just like hanging on to something. Or hanging on for dear life. And then what's interesting is we also have the Spider Spirit, and you know, spiders, they have like the ability to also like hold on to something even if it's moving, you know, or falling, like staying in the same place while things are moving around them. So that might be something that you recognize is currently happening in your life right now. Like things are shaking up and moving, but you might feel like you are kind of maybe even stuck or trapped in the rubble of a tower that fell down, or like you are just kind of like along for the ride. Like there might be a sense of maybe not having a ton of autonomy in the situation, or a ton of control over what is happening. And if that's the case, then there's a lot of messages in these cards that you are being spiritually protected, even if it doesn't feel like it, that you do have love and support around you, again, even if it doesn't feel like it. And it might simply be a matter of needing to, how do I express this in a way that's like, sometimes literally the only control or autonomy we have in a certain situation is our perspective on the situation. Like unfortunately, there are circumstances that can happen in life where we just don't have the ability or the capacity to have like a real material effect on whatever is happening around us or to us in our lives. And so sometimes in those situations, it really is the only thing that we can control or affect is our own perspective, and making sure that we are prioritizing taking care of and protecting our own mental health as best as we can, like to the best of our ability, you know, and practicing self-compassion and practicing like, if this is helpful for you. I know that this has been helpful for me when I was going through something that might have been similar to your current situation. What was helpful for me was sitting in meditation and trying to connect to my higher self, and really conceptualizing, like, you know, unfortunately in this lifetime there have been multiple circumstances where the only person that I could trust to always be there was myself. And so leaning on myself for support became really important in those circumstances when I felt like I didn't have anybody else. And part of that, again, was treating myself like I would treat a beloved friend or a beloved family member. Having like conversations with myself and saying, like, even if I needed to write it out in a journal, like, everything is going to be okay. I love you. I'm always here for you. You know, like, you're not going through this alone. I'm here with you. And writing down all the things I loved about myself, and if I was in a mind space where, a mind space, a headspace where I was able to practice gratitude. Sometimes it's not effective, but if I was, then like writing down things that I felt grateful for, to try to, you know, boost my own mood a little bit, you know, and that's not to discount that whatever situation I was in was bad. You know, it was more just like, if this is something I can do to support my mental health and it's helpful for me in this moment, I'm going to do it. If it's not helpful for me in this moment, I'll focus on something else. So that might be something that is helpful for you. And yeah, it just seems like you might be going through a bit of a hard time right now. You know, we have the Hanged Man in the Tower is like giving me like things falling around you. You know, and like through no fault of your own. You're just kind of along for the ride. Then we have this Five of Pentacles. You know, the Five of Pentacles could talk about, like, I could even see this, like, 41 reduces 5. We have 5 here. It's kind of a similar color. You know, it's like the aftermath of something that has been very like destabilizing, shocking, a sudden, unexpected change. Things like the earth moving beneath our feet, like something we thought we could count on, has suddenly fallen apart. And it's like, this is the aftermath, is these feelings of insecurity, feelings maybe of abandonment, rejection, being left out, being left behind, maybe financial insecurity, because it is a Pentacles card, like something really destabilizing happened. And this could be in an interpersonal relationship. It could be maybe like the loss of a job, or like a, you know, getting kicked out of wherever you're living, or something like that. So again, something you thought you could count on has fallen apart. And this is the part where you're just trying to survive the aftermath. And then we have this Queen of Swords here, and this is Queen of Swords, not a negative message. It could just be like maybe some advice to the way to get through whatever's happening here. Might be like right now your current energy needs to be in this Queen of Swords energy, where you might feel like you need to sort of detach emotionally from whatever's happening. You might feel like you need to take a really kind of like logical, rational viewpoint of what's happening. There might be a message about, again, like taking stock of something, or making sure that you there's a communication message. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. There is a communication message here that I want to talk about, but like the way you tell your story, and the way that that you, like with the spider, the way you spin the narrative here is, I think, going to be important in the future. I think it's going to be important to like your understanding of what happened, because the Queen of Swords also sees things clearly, like has like this being the final card here is like having a sense of clarity about what happened here and why it happened, and the fact that it might have been, like, ultimately have been or will be to your benefit in the long run, while still acknowledging that that this is a very painful process, and you might not have had any say or any control over whatever happened here. So that definitely can lead to these heavy feelings, heavy insecure feelings. We have the vulture spirit, which says depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you. You might feel like, yeah, like just some if something came and smashed your tower, like just that, the feeling like, well, what's going to prevent this from happening again? Like, you know, and how could this happen in a way that like was so unpredictable? Like, why did this happen to me? You know, how could this person do this? Those types of thoughts and feelings, and like, you know, again, what is the point of building my tower back up when someone can just come and smash it down again? Or when life can just, you know, change or shift in such a way that, you know, that has a really negative impact on me. Like, it's almost kind of like, well, what's the point, you know? There is a message here that... Particularly, I didn't look up all the animals. I did look up goose because I was feeling really, I was like, this looks like a goose, and I think that this is important. The goose is a symbol of good fortune. And so this being on the Tower card, I would interpret this as, like, this is something that is ultimately going to be to your benefit, even if that benefit is like months or years down the road. Like this was something that is happening because it will ultimately benefit you in the long run. I think if you choose to embrace this experience as just something that happened, like, and trying to learn as much as you can with the energy of the Queen of Swords, learn as much as you can about what happened here, so that you can make the most out of a bad situation. As much as you can, to the best of your capacity, you know, while still practicing self-compassion. The goose is also a symbol of, and what's interesting is it ties into the spider spirit card. It's a symbol of storytelling, and it's a symbol of particularly like fairy tales or fables, because it's connected to Mother Goose, I would assume. So there's a connection there too, like childhood stories. The way we tell our stories are connections to fairy tales and fables, and the idea that typical fairy tales and fables usually they come with like a moral or a lesson, and so there's something to the way that you tell this story, like the narrative here, that I think is important. That this might even be Spirit's way of encouraging you to either journal or write about this experience, maybe as a way to help yourself, and maybe as a way to help others. Like maybe blogging about it or sharing it with other people might be something that it gets like helpful for everybody, helpful for you and helpful for whoever's reading it. Might be going through something similar, and a way to kind of make a connection with somebody who might also be struggling with the same thing. That might be a message there. And then, I mean, the spider spirit does say, trust the creative spark you're feeling and express it through writing stories that inspire and enlighten. And so you might be feeling compelled to share. And it could be through writing, it could be through another creative means, any type of creativity that has to do with a way for you to help process your experiences. And it's like you don't ever have to share the things that you're going through if you're not comfortable with that. But there might be a message here that Spirit is directing you to share these experiences, because it might be something that does end up being helpful for somebody else, and by helping somebody else, that might also help you as well. So I wanted to say that. And then, you know, there's also connection to creativity here on the Nightingale card, because this is like, it almost looks like an old gramophone, you know, and there's music coming out of it. You know, that nightingales, they're birds, they sing, and with love is all around. This card carries a specific message, you know, and that's also with the heavy energy I was feeling, the energy, the spread. And that's particularly the vulture spirit as well. There's a message that you can get through this period of darkness or hardship or struggle or the aftermath of a tower falling, you know, things falling apart. You can get through this dark period of time. Part of it is kind of the message of the Hanged Man, of maybe needing to shift your perspective and like work on, you know, surrender and acceptance. I know that's understand and acknowledge I often feel frustrated hearing that in a reading. But that's, you know, sometimes it's literally the only thing we can control about our situation, is our reaction to it, and you know, how we choose to respond to the change in circumstances. And with love is all around, there's a message that you are not alone. And at the very least, you have the support of spirit. You have the support of your spirit guides. And again, the goose is a symbol of spiritual support. You have, actually, I'm not sure that I mentioned it, but it is. It's good fortune. It's the fairy tales and fables, and it's also a message that you are being spiritually protected, despite the fact that this tower is falling. And that's another message of this love is all around. It's like love is there, and signs and symbols of the love of your spirit guides and a divine source are there if you choose to look for them. Yeah, it's reminding me of, I know I've shared this story in other videos before, but it is reminding me of when I was going through a particularly hard and difficult period of time in my life. I definitely had a tower moment, and you know, I was in kind of this Five of Pentacles energy, and just feeling like really kind of rejected and hopeless, and like, you know, what's the point? And like I reached out to my spirit guides, and I essentially begged them to send me a sign or a symbol or anything at all to let me know that I wasn't alone. And after that, I started seeing, and I didn't ask for a specific symbol, but I started seeing hearts everywhere. I started noticing hearts everywhere. And it was like those hearts were, you know, the heart's imagery, like I would see it on the pattern on someone's shirt. I saw it like there was a horse that had like a heart-shaped patch on its hindquarters. I saw heart-shaped rocks when I was walking, and it was like I wasn't looking for that, but I started noticing it everywhere, and I interpreted that as a message from my spirit guides answering my prayer, essentially, and showing me, like, here are symbols that you are loved. And so I think that there's a message with the Nightingale spirit that, you know, switching your brain into a gear where you are asking for and open to receiving those signs and symbols of love and support, you will start to notice them because they are there. If that makes sense. And if you need to, like, literally reach out and ask for help from spirit, and ask for those signs and symbols. The Queen of Swords is a very clear communicator. Might be a message about like literally asking your spirit guides for help or for support, or asking somebody else as well, like somebody who is physically in the 3D, with the spider connected to networking. We have the green color here of the heart chakra. We have the yellow of the solar plexus, self-esteem, willpower, determination. You do have the power to get through this point in time. There might be a message about opening up your heart chakra to receiving those, that like the love and support of spirit, and also of other people in your life who might be coming towards you to try to help you. And then the connection to spirit and the sort of like dark blue third eye color on the tower card of like, this is a spiritual thing that is happening. There's again a message as it's like, this will ultimately be to your benefit. You are being protected while this happens, and how you choose to share and tell this story is important here. And if there is, with the worry that someone is against you, if there is somebody specific who is trying to sabotage you, if there's somebody specific who like came in and smashed your tower, if you know who this person is, there is a message here that you, like, even if it doesn't seem like it, you are being protected from that person and from other people who are in similar energies, even if only by the fact that you will be able to recognize that person or those people if they come back towards you, and you'll know, like, no, I'm not letting that person into my energy because last time I did, they smashed my tower. Or like, I recognize this energy in this person, and I'm going to protect myself from that because I know what happened last time. If that makes sense, or if that resonates for you. And then the last thing that I want to say before I close out your reading, pile 3, is There's a message with the Nightingale spirit that the night is always darkest before the dawn, and that like you will get through this, and that the sun will rise again. You will not be in this energy forever. You will not be in this situation forever, and that the dawn will come again. But it's how you choose to navigate the darkness. I think that is going to have the biggest effect and impact on your spiritual development moving forward, if that makes sense. So that's what I have for you today, pile 3. And I also want to say, like, you can always feel free to reach out to me either in the comments or on my email address that's on my YouTube channel if you want to talk. Like, I'm here, and if you feel like you don't have anybody else in your life who would understand what you were going through, or you just want to express it to somebody, I am always available for that. So I wanted to say that as well. I hope that this reading has been helpful for you. Please comment down below and let me know how it resonated for you. If you like my channel and you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe. And I also have a Patreon where I post bonus videos, and an Etsy shop where I do private readings. So if you're interested in either of those things, the links will be in the description. And with that said, thank you very much for watching Pile 3, and I do hope to see you in my next video.